losing you. And if you get too upset about losing your phone, then it's just bad news.
The cool thing was, you didn't judge yourself, dude. You were like...
I did judge myself a little bit, but you encouraged me not to judge myself. And it's been a great opportunity to work through a number of issues, honestly. I think I've been sort of comforting myself with equipment for a long time, ever since I had a notebook as a kid, really. This goes kind of deep. Even when I'd forget my homework, and then the math teacher told me to get a notepad so I'd remember the homework. And now I recognize a whole bunch of this stuff as signs of being distracted by trauma. I did not have my full mental bandwidth. And now I see that I forgot my phone in that Uber because I also didn't have my full mental bandwidth. And also what was happening was kind of exciting, but we'll get to that. Basically, Trauma Ken lost that phone. And I am going to do what's actually really important here, and it's not paying more attention or holding more tightly to my possessions or any of that. It's doing what we do around here, which is healing trauma piece by piece until you just naturally don't lose stuff.
Who you are when you're biologically compromised, burned out, when you've got trauma issues, when you've got emotional issues, when you've got unresolved wounds, it's not really you. It's a facsimile of you. And it's a version of you that's got compromised cognitive function, who is operating in survival mode. And the issue with that is, in survival mode, 80% of your intellectual resources are hijacked. The prefrontal cortex, the PCF, requires really stable and steady electron flow to actually work really well, to make good decisions, to be fully human, to having access to intelligence, drive, body wisdom and all that, to be the best version of yourself. You actually have to have a really high voltage system because it is incredibly energetically expensive to supply the prefrontal cortex. A guy like Ken, he knows this. He understands. He's got suboptimal redox, and he's also got still amount of trauma to work through, right? For that reason, he recognizes he's not there yet. He's got some performance development to do to be able to actually access all his ability. He doesn't judge himself for being where he is in his journey. A guy who doesn't get it, if you're not catching the fact that clients like Ken are compromised, you're going to miss out on the actual coaching that needs to happen here. What needs to happen here is we recognize he's got compromised function right now, right? And what we need to do is get him fully aligned. And since that was a few days ago, Ken, you've continued to work on yourself, improving.
It was interesting to not have the phone in a way. Like, it was nice to just know that I'm still here, and it's almost like layers. People put on layers for all sorts of things. I got partway into a David Goggins book, and like he was putting on layers of fat and muscle to protect himself. Or I used a bit of equipment layers. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can protect yourself up from the world if you're feeling insecure. And so it was useful here in this haven, this special little place in Mexico, to just lose a bit of my usual equipment and realize that I'm still here. There's still things I can do. There's still things I can control. There's stuff we can do to get this phone back and stuff we can't. And yeah, so it was all a great chance to kind of practice the proper attitude and also realize that the real problem here is not carelessness exactly. It's just the trauma we've got to heal.
The load that you've got that you need to work through, you is not even you when you're still healing and still growing. Your PCF is offline, and therefore, when the prefrontal cortex isn't being supplied with a stable electron flow, when the body is in a lower energy, lower voltage state, it uses the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain is at the base of fear, overthinking, survival. And as data and environmental sensory input is fed into a brain that is being ran by the reptilian brain, the reality that you live in is one of trying to survive, and you have a distorted reality at that point. And you can't make decisions effectively. You don't have self-confidence, you don't have self-awareness, you're just very much in a haze. I used to be there, I remember it. But as you heal more, as you work on biohacking and inner game at the same time, and elevate your biology and elevate your inner game, which is integration, nervous system regulations, and also beliefs, then you're able to access full function, full executive clarity, full power that you've got. Who you are when you're under trauma load is a facsimile of yourself. You get 5% potential. You don't judge yourself. But then as a coach, you have to catch your client and explain to them why these patterns are happening, and explain to them that in the vast equanimous trauma healing and biological literature, these experiences are extremely common. We as professionals know this and we see this. But guys like this, if you don't guide them the right way, and Ken's on his journey and is doing fantastic work himself, and is also, he's been with me in my program for a while, and he's just made massive progress, and he's actually been able to work with other people. But Ken is still investing in himself and is still improving himself, and he's seeing more success, and he's getting higher and higher in life. And for that reason, he's really someone to watch and follow. I think Ken's going to, the more he heals, he's going to do absolutely fantastic work, and you can just follow him and do what he does, and you can see what he's going to achieve. But the point here is this, is that who you are when you're still healing, you're not the final product. And when things are not going the way that perhaps you'd like them to go, you got to see it the right way. It's not you. You don't blame and judge yourself.
This is your brain on trauma, basically, right? Trauma is, well, I don't know how it compares to cocaine or whatever, but just, this is your brain on trauma, pretty much.
Tell them about your experience. As you get better now every day, by focusing on doing the work every day here with me.
Well, hell yeah. I mean, what's happened so far on the trip for me, Ravi's further along than me. I don't know how he's also healing some trauma. But even coming here, I had a migraine on the plane. I've been known to have migraines traveling. I think more than once after traveling on like skiing holidays and stuff, I'd like puked up in our hotel room and things. But yeah, on some level, traveling's tough on your immune system anyway. But there's something else going on there. Like this was not easy. That like 10-hour plane journey was kind of a transition for me. That was a real threshold. The only thing that kept me sane was a Lord of the Rings marathon somebody was having in the seat in front of us. But since then, and the first day even was pretty hard. Ravi knew what he was doing. He took me to Costco. He's got a Costco membership. He knows how to navigate this place. He loves it here. But it was all new to me, and I had to delve into the unknown, just leave home, go somewhere where I don't know the language. I'm this tall white dude who stands out as a tall white dude.
The White Mountain.
At least I'm tall. It'd be tough if I wasn't tall. But even if I'm not tall, you can still do this. And since then, I've been dedicating myself to healing trauma. And Ravi knows how this is done. He knows exactly how it's done. He's got obviously some very impressive stuff we can get to in a bit as well. Yeah. But partly I just practice lying around doing nothing in the sun because I also had trouble with being a bit of a workaholic, really, for reasons I understand very well. Yeah. And also proactive stuff, like we've got TRE going on now. We just completed a course of TRE.
How was that today?
That was very restorative. So I've had 2 sessions of TRE.
Can you tell them what TRE? Yes. So it's a trauma healing modality that Ken's learning, and he's going to be qualified in this. He's going to be a specialist in emotional recovery and trauma healing, and you'll see him build a brand about that. Tell them what you're learning right now. So
the basic idea is you do a bunch of exercises to tire out your legs. You're supposed to go up to kind of 6 out of 10 effort, and then stop, and then once your legs are nicely tired, and I do find that like being more tired helps emotions come out. That seems to be a bit of a rule. You lie down, you do the butterfly position where your feet are together and you kind of spread out your knees there. And it's almost like tuning a radio. You kind of put your legs in the right position to find where the tremors are. And it takes a bit, like there's a bit of a delayed reaction. But trust me, most of the time, the tremors will come. And it's your body kind of shaking off the stress. And this interests me quite a bit because apparently there's a number of shaky treatments around the world. There's African dances where they shake about. Does not Taylor Swift herself tell us to shake it off?
She does. So
I haven't even watched that video, but and the Quakers as well, like the Quaker Oat guy. The Quakers were known to begin with for actual quaking.
Wow.
Where they would sit in a circle. It wasn't TRE, I think. They would sit in a circle, hold hands, and then they would just shake as the spirit came upon them. So there's kind of a loose family of these shaky treatments.
So the idea is that you're doing that because trauma, as we know, trauma doesn't live in the cortex. Trauma isn't about reframes. Trauma is not about mindset. If your life is stuck overall, and someone is telling you just to reframe it and be positive, then you are around a charlatan. Trauma, deep trauma, lives in the nervous system, and to heal trauma, you do not do mindset. You do body-based. You do integrative work, you do nervous system regulation work, you do a lot of different things. that switch your state and get you out of your cortex and into your body to where you can re-establish a baseline of safety and repattern and do the deeper work on ourselves to actually just get out of our own way and be who we need to be. So the cool thing is that Ken's doing the work here. He's improving every single day. Frankly, I see it, and I'm pretty experienced with working with people. I can see he's flourishing, he's thriving, and he's going to just keep getting more successful. And what's cool is we have people we know here. We've got a good network here. I always invest in network and meeting really cool. Everywhere I go, I'm going to connect with the best people and meet them. And then we've already got some really cool people out here. I've got a business partner out here. And just the level of also mindset advice that we're getting, now's the perfect time for it. Mindset advice, of course, it's level 10. It's what takes you to be very successful in life. But it's applicable once you've actually healed your trauma and become biologically competent and capable to where you can do deep work effortlessly without any sort of like stress or strain. Restoring joyful performance and also having cleared your trauma load. That's where mindset is extremely helpful, and that's where it really can get you places. So as me and Ken are doing that work, we've also got, kind of one of my mentors giving us just really outstanding developmental advice in conjunction and giving us some really good new things and techniques and hypnosis and all this stuff to do and try. And why that's kind of interesting is that all of this is converging, right? Because we've created this environment, this container, this experience with me and Ken. And rather than spiraling and beating your head against the wall, getting weighed down by issues, what Ken's example demonstrates is, yes, he lost a very expensive phone, but guess what? It's plastic. Guess what? Once you heal yourself, you can make 500 times the money and replace it many, many times over. Because success is a state of mind. That effectiveness and going out and reaching the next level, it's energetic. It's being plugged into the quantum field and being able to execute very hard, very fast, with ample energy and a great internal psychology. When you're there, mindset is the move. That's level 10. But it's all about sequences, and that's what we do in the Breakthrough Engine. It's about steps and sequences and doing things the right way to build the proper foundation to get where you want to go. And that's what we're doing right here, Ken. So, we're probably gonna let you wrap it up, Ken. You are an example of someone who's improving at every level, and now the mindset things are actually sticking.
Yeah, and
your biology is getting better. You're clearing your trauma load, and now the teachings and the learnings, they're actually integrating. Because finally these things are converging and being built the proper way. So you're also reading about these things right now. You did a bit of reading today. What did you learn today about emotional recovery?
What do we got here today? I'm building my way to the emotional recovery, but honestly I think he's kind of building up to the final tactic, because I've learned a bunch of little things about brain regions. There's 3 brain regions.
Tell us an interesting fact about that.
What do we got? I think the stem does the kind of basic body stuff. Then you've got the middle zone that deals with like emotions and slightly more articulate things. And then you've got the kind of cerebral cortex stuff that's more rational. So there's kind of 3 brains in there. I'm looking forward to being able to tell which brain people are talking from or something. So yeah, so I'm just putting together little bits, because that book is full of little nuggets of useful stuff. And there's some terrifying stories of the traumas people go into as well. It's a good thing I'm kind of dark, and I kind of like him.
And that's why you're the guy that's going to be able to guide people on that journey. And it's very, very similar to what we do too in the Breakthrough Engine. What we do in the Breakthrough Engine is help people restore their effortless, joyful, deep work ability, heal trauma, recover their biology, become high voltage black swan operators who can go where they want to go, do what they want to do, and have total self-belief and freedom. And if the message aligns and resonates, you know what you can do. You can subscribe to the channel, you can click below, you can drop a comment, you can drop a like, and you can get involved in this movement. And if you're interested in learning more about what I offer a group cohort, I offer an ebook. All these things could potentially add a lot of value to your life. If you're interested in that, just drop a comment below and I can give you my email. Otherwise, guys, let's just continue on this journey and do amazing things. Everything is just up again. Made some important changes. We are really, really moving up. And it's a really joyful time to start getting involved with us and see what we're going to build. And watch me and watch this guy go on and take over the world. Give them the final message to leave them.
I'll tell you this much, guys. Ravi is on the way up. Let's just say I've seen things here in Mexico that I'm glad I saw, and I'm glad I bet on him when it was not so obvious that things were going to get awesome.
Yeah, but now you're seeing it, and that's what it's all about. So the rest of you are going to see that too. Thank you, Breakthrough Engine. Peace. Good.